Welcome in to the Monday OT here on this Monday night, August 29th. Junior high took a loss this week. High school got a big shutout win over in Bruceton. We're going to talk about all of those things. I've got Coach Greg Lennon coming up here in just a moment. I also have Coach Teddy Pettigrew. And then following Coach Teddy Pettigrew, a new segment right here on the Monday OT, and it will be the highlights from the ball game that we will talk to him about from Bruceton, Tennessee, as your Humboldt Vikings again got a big win. I want to say a thank you to our sponsors, and we've got some new ones, so I want to make sure and mention them. I've got the Baskerville Funeral Home, Centennial Bank, Good Old Cooking, first time on a Monday night, the G&K Defense, Humboldt Viking Booster Club, the Humboldt Chronicle, Humboldt High School Class of 93, and the Humboldt Public Library, Security Bank and Trust Company, Tyson Foods, and Willis Notary Services. Thank you to all of these sponsors for making this program and your Friday night football broadcast possible. We appreciate their faithful support. Let's go right into an interview with Coach Greg Lennon talking about the junior high home game this past week as the McKenzie Rebels came to town. We got Coach Greg Lennon, and a lot of things was going on at halftime of the high school game. And, hey, Coach, it's okay. We was talking off air. He was real busy, wasn't able to come kind of catch us up, which it's fine. We're going to catch up on Monday nights as well. But we'll try again this week, Coach. I appreciate you taking time for us out this evening.
Man, I thank you for allowing me the opportunity to talk.
Oh, man. Well, these junior high kids, they deserve it. I know the game did not go the way you wanted it to go the other night. It was a rough night at home as you hosted McKenzie, and it was kind of more of the same of some miscommunications in the secondary. And I'll let you kind of talk, that first half, the first quarter. I mean, we scored first, went up 6-0. Felt like we were in the driver's seat for a little while there, Coach. And then I'll let you kind of talk to what happened. What do you feel like changed the course of that ball game?
I really feel like I'm like I tell everybody, we really on a rebuild and stay with our junior high. I'm trying to teach these kids how to win, and once they get it, cause we talented, we very talented. Yeah. But dealing with basic fundamentals, a lot of these kids didn't get a chance to play 5th and 6th grade football.
Sure.
And there's a lot of them is at the beginning stages of just playing football. So yeah, we at the early part of the season. I'm just glad these not district games we losing right now. But I see the progress that's coming, and I think we'll be ready starting this Thursday. We'll be prepared and ready. They done learned a lot from the previous 2 games. The previous 3 games they done learned a lot from. And I really think they catch along with it. I wish they, like I said, if they would have played a little earlier, we would have been in a good state right now. But yeah, I'm still pleased with where we at.
You had a great first quarter for sure, only trailing 8-6 after one quarter. And then it was almost like, no, wait a minute. You led 6-0 after the first quarter. And then after that, they put on 16 points. And to me, the 8-point one, the first one was okay. I could just saw that one. That one kind of just, that was just a good play. The second score there right before the half that gave them the 16 points. They had great field position near midfield because of an ill-advised pass interception there. I mean, they made quick work of getting on into the end zone, taking a 10-point lead. That game was really lost in the second quarter, wasn't it, Coach?
It was really long. It was really long, and my secondary kind of broke down on me, man. They, like I say, I got a young group of secondary back there, first-year experience playing football. So, but I had been telling them all along, stay back. I had even pulled him back, to get off the receiver. But he actually let him run right by him. So, things like that happen, and I just got to go in a deeper coach's moment with them, to get them to understand what I'm trying to get them to see. Yeah. Like I say, they younger, and they don't get it. You have to pretty much show these kids exactly what you're talking about. That's the difference in the kids and play. You can just kind of tell them what you want, but actually I got to show hands-on. This is what I'm talking about, So I'm going into a different stage of teaching moments right now.
Sure. Did we lose you there, Coach?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
we're good.
Okay.
All right.
I'm in a different teaching moment with these group of kids I got right now. But best believe we gonna get them right.
Oh yeah.
And we gonna get them right. We gonna like I told them, the main games that we got coming up now. I take the losses on them games. Now I need them to produce.
Yeah.
I take the losses on them, and I need them to produce now.
Yeah, and it was kind of weird coming out of that halftime break. We're supposed to get the ball back, and the Rebels pulled a trick and kicked the onside ball to us. And it was almost like we wasn't quite expecting that as players, and they were able to get that ball and extend that lead to 16. And, man, it felt like from that moment on, Coach, and I want to give you a chance to speak to this as well, and then we're going to look ahead. We're not going to just dwell on the past here, but it felt like from that moment on, the frustrations were really building on the sideline, both from coaches and players. And the more the frustrations began to build, Coach Greg, I felt like the mistakes multiplied at that point.
And that's what I'm dealing with this group of kids.
Yeah.
The turnaround, never quit. It's like they get bad moments and they just drop their head.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to teach them. You got to fight through whatever, and it's life. And I told them after the game, this is life. You're going to have bad moments, but you're going to have to keep your head up and keep going.
Yeah.
It's like the game with football. You're going to make a mistake, but you got to pick your head up and keep going, you know.
Yeah.
And they starting to understand it. They starting to understand it, but they still got a little more to go. I just got to keep drilling it in them. I got to keep drilling it in them,
Sure.
We got to go. We got to go. We got to do this. That's why I really wish if my guys ever jump out and they we get everything situated like we need to.
Yeah.
That's what I'm waiting on. And I know from then on, they'll know how to win. They'll know how to win.
A disappointing loss, one that felt like it was kind of avoidable, to be honest with you. The way the game started felt really good. The young junior Viking team is just having to learn how to face adversity, folks. These are young kids learning big kid lessons. Not just about the game of football, like Coach Greg said, but really just life in general. Sometimes things don't go your way, and how you respond determines what happens next. The good news is there is a next, and next on the schedule, Coach, is Thursday night, September the 1st. It's Three Oaks coming to town. As you've said, this one really matters. So we need our young men to put their chins up, do the homework, prepare. You're going to do practices today, and you've already done practice today by the time this airs, and we're working to right the Viking ship right now and get the first win of the year. We believe in these kids, believe in this team, and what are you seeing out of a Three Oaks team, and what do you expect this Thursday night?
I'm seeing a Three Oaks, I'm looking at every team coming to be Humboldt.
Okay.
Every team is coming to be Humboldt, but Humboldt, we gonna be prepared and ready for this team, the Three Oaks team coming up. Like I said, they hungry to win. I just gotta coach them and teach them how to finish it out.
Yeah.
I gotta get them our kids to understand how to finish the game out and finish it out hard. And like I tell them, it starts today. It starts today.
Yeah.
You don't win on Thursday. We don't win on Thursday night. You win your first day of practice by preparing yourself hard, getting out there doing what me and the coaches got prepared for them to do, and taking and being coachable.
Yeah.
Being coachable, listening to the things that we got set for them to do, and understanding it. That's the main thing. Because if I can tell them all day, but if they don't understand it, they still not gonna do it right. But now they get to the terms, they basically understanding some things, and I'm gonna show them a little better. So we'll be prepared. We'll be prepared for this game Thursday night.
Okay.
And like I tell them, we'll leave it out there on the field. If y'all give me 100%, give me all you got. Whatever the scores say, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we've mentioned the frustration on the sidelines and how that the mistakes went up, and how do you eliminate that, in the next week? I know you say we'll be prepared and we're going to work in practice. Let's just say Thursday night we get back into the same situation where the kids are fussing on the sideline. They were actually pointing fingers at each other. You should have done this. You should have. How do you keep that down? Because you're trying to stay focused on the game. How do we keep that out of the sidelines?
I'm going to keep it out of the sideline because I'm going to make sure they know this week that that's not happening during practice. That's going to be a coach's moment for me, myself, and the rest of the coaches to prepare them and make sure they're not bickering on the sideline. Yeah. Because you can't, like I tell them, you can't win pointing the finger at each other. You can have a great game. I told them last game, you can have a great game, but if we lose, we all lose. I don't care what you done. You can have the best game you ever had, but it's still a team sport. So we all accountable for what happened out there on that field.
Are you approaching the season in the quarterback position there, Coach? Are you approaching the season kind of a dual threat there? I know I see Tylen Campbell some back there, and then sometimes I'll see a Kelsey Rose Jr. Is that just game planning, or is that trying to figure out who's the best at that position right now?
Campbell was, Campbell got hurt, so he had to sit out, for us. He had an ankle injury. I done had 4 hurt. Oh. I got 4 kids that's hurt. I got one, Harris got a broken ankle.
Oh, man.
He got a broken ankle. Then I got a couple more injured with ankle injuries. Okay. And it just, I done ran into some injuries, and it set me back. But, we going to make do with what we got, It's when they number call, it's time for them to step up. That's why I tell them they got to prepare and practice and watch and see everything that we doing so they'll know what to do, For kids that's hadn't got as much playing time as others, so it's time for the next number to step up. That's what I told them. They got to buckle up and get ready to play.
Yeah, looking at the film for Three Oaks, are they going to be a lot of run, or are they going to try to pass the ball a lot? What do you see as a tendency with them?
They do a little both. They do a little both. If they're not able to pass, they ain't gonna be able to do number runs. But they pretty much a steady running team. They pretty much a steady running team. So we finna buckle down and prepare for it this week. Ain't too many teams gonna pass like Northview. Yeah. So the Three Oaks is kind of similar to them, but they just not as heavy pass as Three Oaks. Okay. Northview.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew when I saw him starting to throw that ball, I thought, oh no, because I remember what I saw at South Gibson, and it was more of the same last Thursday night. Hopefully, and these kids are going to grow into those positions as well, and we'll probably have a team later on down the line come in here thinking they're going to throw it all over us, and these kids have other plans for them. That's what we hope.
They have other plans for them, and but at my cornerback position, I figured out I done put a couple more new kids in at cornerback. Okay. So I think they work pretty well at the end of the game. They work pretty well. So I'm gonna continue with them. Like I tell my kids, nobody have a starting position. Yeah. Nobody have free range to say I'm this. Cause if whoever prepared the best this week, that's who's gonna be put in those places. Sure. So I gotta hold them accountable. Yeah. And you did see, in the end of that game, again, the Vikings started trying to come back. I think if you had one more quarter, it would have been interesting to see. But football's only 4 quarters, and you got to put the best 4 quarters that you can out there. And I really appreciate you taking time for us today, Coach, and good luck Thursday night. We'll be there taking photos Thursday evening, Viking News on Demand, and hope you have a good week of practice, and maybe some of these can heal up and get back on the field for you. Go Vikings! I appreciate it, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you.
That was Coach Greg Lennon right here on the Monday OT, this August 29th edition. Hope you and your family are doing well. The junior high team, they did fall 28-12. They jumped out to a 6-0 lead at the end of the first quarter. They were leading there, and we thought, wow, Humboldt's going to pull this off because McKenzie comes in with a very good reputation and a great program. McKenzie goes to 16 unanswered points in the second quarter, leading at the half 16-6. At the end of 3, both teams had put 6 up on the board, so it was a 10-point ball game. McKenzie leading 22-12. However, McKenzie would put 6 on the board in the fourth, extending that lead and defeating the Humboldt Vikings 28-12. 28-12. Coming up next, it is now time for the interview with Coach Teddy Pettigrew right here on the Viking News On Demand Monday OT. Welcome into the Monday OT. Appreciate you joining us on this Monday evening, and we have Coach Teddy Pettigrew with us tonight, and we are recapping the game. And, Coach, I'll let you kind of tell the fans what this means for the program, because getting that first win early in the season, that should help catapult us into hopefully more wins. But I'll let you kind of talk about what does that do for a program to get its win here in the first couple of games.
I mean, it does a lot for the confidence of our guys and the coaching staff, of everyone that's involved. And, getting a win is very addictive in a good way. So it's something that you want to do over and over again.
Yes, sir. I know we saw some things on Friday night that we had not been able to really do on the game before, particularly your freshman running back being able to get those touches that we had talked about the week before in our recap, and how that you all had went into that game wanting to run the ball against Grace Christian but couldn't quite get that done. And Friday night we found a way to make that happen. And what do you see as the biggest difference to make sure that you're able to have a run game like you did Friday night?
I mean, it's just the way we practice during the week. We got out to the O-line. We got out to the D-line. We made sure we fixed the problems that we had the week before up front. And it showed up Friday night. I mean,
sure did.
Practice was way harder than that game we played Friday night. And it will continue to be that way. That's just like at the end of the Grace Christian game when I had the team out on the field, I said, the last thing we're going to do, coaches and players, is pointing at people and blaming people for our lack of success tonight. Yeah. I want each and every last one of you to do what I'm going to do, and that's go home and look in the mirror.
Yeah.
And I'm saying coaches and players, go look in the mirror. That's where you start to blame that. You need to fix you.
That's good.
And that's what we did.
I believe that, Coach, because, I mean, one of the things that we talked about in the pregame show was I said, the one word that's really going to decide this tonight is execution. I really felt like that's where we failed the week before. We didn't really execute our game plan, and it kind of let the wheels fall off the cart early. And I felt like we did, kind of flip that around Friday night. You were able to execute, and your quarterback being able to bounce back after the injury the week before, knocking him out of the rest of that game. That also gave you that dual threat, that play, that deep ball down the sideline. It was there all night long.
Yes, it was. I mean, we have that ability to do that. It's just, our quarterback have time to throw the ball. And that's the reason why we got out to the O-line pretty tough. And they've got to give him time to throw the ball downfield. Because we're going to have those matchups that we can win. They got to put people in the box to stop our running game. If not, we can run the ball on them. So if we have one-on-one matchups out on the edge, we have to take advantage of them. We have to be able to take advantage of them. And that starts with protection up front.
Yes, it does. Let's swap over to the defensive side of the ball here, Coach, as your defense played exceptional, pitching a shutout, 32-0 win here for Humboldt Vikings on Friday night over the Bruceton Tigers. And I know Bruceton kind of took it on the chin. That score that Bruceton had against West Carroll really was kind of misleading. They didn't run away with that game against Bruceton when West Carroll played them. It was kind of that final few minutes, really more than anything, that kind of made that score go crazy on them. But they played a pretty good first half and even into the third quarter. This Bruceton team, they present some different challenges, but your defense met the challenge. And there was names that I was calling, Coach, that I did not call the week before. Barksdale and Felix and some of those guys stepped up to the plate Friday night. I'll let you kind of talk to that. Your defense looked exceptional.
Well, I mean, it's just guys that executing the game plan. I mean, they're doing what we asked them to do the way we practiced it. And when that happens, I mean, that's the reason why you help coaches. We watch so much film and we know how to stop things, but we cannot play the plays.
Yeah.
But when we reiterate that to the players and get it through to their head and teach them well, because we have to teach them. And I'll say this about football coaches: they're teachers first. We have to teach the game to these guys. We have to assume they know none of it. So when they execute the game plan they're taught well, that's what you will see.
Yeah,
we have the ability. We just gotta get it taught well, and make sure that they have adequate backups. If they're not doing their job, the next man go in and do your job, and that right there gets up under your skin. You want to do your job.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Hey, one more thing about last week, because I know you're ready to look forward to the next game here. And obviously, as most coaches are, Stefan Shivers, I noticed even maybe a step up in his game Friday night as well. Not just in his play, but just really recruiting the players around him in a leadership role on the field itself. And obviously, with his size, there will be games where he can pretty much do whatever he wants to do. They're going to have a hard time stopping him. But I think it was more than just size Friday night. I saw just even a difference in his technique. But I also noticed, Coach, Friday night you only played him on defense. Is that something that we can pretty much expect going forward?
Well, that's something that we wanted to do last Friday. The week before. But we had some guys who were suspended for breaking team rules and did not get a chance to play that game. So, with the guys back this past Friday night, we could allow to not play him on offense and just keep him fresh on defense. Yeah, the thing about defense, it can win championships because all you need is 3 points to win the game. All you need is 2 points to win the game. And so if you can stop other people from scoring, that's a big thing. And we know if we keep him fresh on defense, he would be a load to handle. And that gives our linebacker, you got to double team a guy like that.
Yeah.
And when you have to double team him, that limits your production on offense because, he's taking 2 for 1. Sometimes he's going to get triple team, take 3 for 1.
Yeah.
Now you're playing with 8 guys instead of, now you're playing with 9 guys instead of playing with 11.
Yeah.
So that's the benefit of having a kid like him.
Yeah, and I do agree with you. You kept him fresh on defense, and, man, he was you could tell the difference. He wasn't having to be out there so much, and I'll tell you. And he made the players around him better, and that's one thing about leadership. I always tell my guys, everywhere I go, you're going to lead, whether you lead in the right way or the wrong way. You don't have a choice in leadership. That's just something that's placed upon us, and you can't run from it. Because if you run from it, that means you're going to lead them wrong. If you step up and accept it, that means you'll lead them right. You have no choice. Everyone's a leader. It just depends on if you lead them right or wrong, and you got to be accountable for that. That's right. Yeah, and I'm excited, man. Just the growth in the players from week, the first game to the second, and obviously we hope that continues, and I believe it will. We look ahead to this coming week's Friday night ball game. You're back on the road again. You've got 2 road games here in a row. West Carroll.
It's a big one. It's a big one. I feel like we had a chance to win that game last year. I feel like we should have came out with the win, and just some unfortunate things happened, and we didn't. We weren't successful. And the guys, they're up for it. They want that opportunity to get that win back from West Carroll. It's the first district matchup of the year.
Yeah.
And it means a lot. It means a lot. If we look at our district, our district is not just a slam dunk for anyone.
No.
It's probably the most competitive district in single A football.
I can believe it. Now, you mentioned the game last year, and that's exactly where I was headed. A lot of these kids, you got a sophomore class. They were freshmen last year, and they remember what that loss tasted like. And how much do you use that as motivation? I know, obviously, you can't replay the game last year, but you do have an opportunity to maybe set the record a little straight.
You start with showing film and how we played, the mistakes we made, and correcting that.
Yeah.
And we just move forward from it. Because when they see it, it's gonna bring some things back to memory. How they felt after the game. I always try to make sure they go back and remember how you felt after the game.
Yeah.
Because they all in the locker room. When we got locked in there, we beat them. We're better than them. Okay. Yeah. Well, you'll get a chance to play them again, hopefully this year.
Yeah.
But we didn't. Playoffs didn't allow that. But next year, definitely you'll get your chance again.
That's right.
So here it is.
Yeah, I actually a buddy of mine over at the Forever Communications in Jackson radio station group of stations there. His son is the quarterback of West Carroll, and he actually called me last night. We were talking about internet feeds and that kind of thing. All of us in broadcasting are struggling getting solid internet for our streams, and so we was talking some of that stuff. And he brought up, he said, "Man, that Humboldt team looks different than the one we played last year." He said they're hungry, they want to win. He said, "I think they've learned how to win," and I believe that, and that means a lot, Coach, because I know you've watched the program from a distance. Your wife has taught in the system for a long time. You've always been your eye has been on this program because of that. And this program, to get to this point, we're not happy, obviously, and satisfied, but to get to this point where other teams are looking at you saying you've learned how to win, that says a lot about where we are right now.
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot. I mean, the thing about Humboldt, even back when I was in high school, when the program was really rolling in the right direction, they've always had the better athletes, the bigger guys. It's just, I mean, learning how to win is something that you have to teach.
Yeah.
I mean, and they have to figure it out as well. You can teach it all you want, but if they don't figure it out, I mean, and that's a testament to those guys. You have to figure that out, how to win. And I mean, when it comes to practice, I mean, how to practice to win.
Yeah.
Because if practice is the same way as being the years that we were not successful. How are we going to be successful this year? We got to change that. The whole narrative, even in the classroom, you have to perform in the classroom.
Yeah.
Even in between the class, in the halls, you have to set that example, be that example for the rest of the students in the school. Yeah. And those are my rules. I mean, you can't play if you acting up in the school.
Yes.
If you're misbehaving in school, and they know it. I mean, even right now when we get off the phone, I'm going to go and pick up my guy's cell phone so that teachers can't take their cell phone. That's a rule.
Yeah.
So I try to give them a choice. You give me your cell phone and it can't be taken up, or if you get taken, you sit out 2 games.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. And I will say this too, now that we've learned to win, Coach, you have also, and the coach prior to you as well, they really put an emphasis on let's win with class, let's do it right. You know, the personal foul penalties in the first half was kind of concerning, and I know it was frustrating to you as a coach on the sideline just as much as it was us standing up in the booth going, guys, you just can't do this. Second half, we got control of it and walked away with the ball game. And I think these kids are growing on the court or on the field. We're seeing that. And so as we look to West Carroll here, Coach, what are some things that you're seeing and some things that you plan to highlight this week with the kids? I know obviously it's do your job, but what are some strengths that you're seeing from this team we're going to face this week?
I mean, West Carroll is an overall good team. I mean, they don't have a lot of flaws that you can take advantage of. We're going to have to go in there and play excellent football, and we can do that. I mean, is it possible for us to play better than we played Friday night? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It is. Yes, it is. And that's what we, the coaching staff is going to reiterate in practice, challenge the guys to do, and if we get that done, we'll come out of there with a win.
Well, Coach, I know we are getting close to school time starting. We recorded this in the morning time, and I don't want to make you late. I really appreciate you taking time for us again on this Monday, and go Vikings.
All right, go Vikings.
The film study was obvious. Bruceton's Achilles heel is stopping the run. West Carroll the week before had put 259 yards on Bruceton. When we came to town, it was interesting to see what happened as the Vikings were able to pretty much have their way on the ground as well, with Jeremiah Jones scoring 2, I think it might have even been 3 rushing touchdowns. Ja'Quari Agnew, he also had touchdowns as well. It was just phenomenal. A great offensive effort and defense. The defense coming in and getting the shutout in Bruceton. That's something to be noted as well. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. The Humboldt Vikings face off in Atwood against the West Carroll War Eagles coming up next week. It's going to be the clash of 2 very good teams vying for recognition in what is really could be argued as the most competitive single A division in single A football this year. Coach Pettigrew definitely feels that way, as he just said in that interview. You want to make plans to join us Friday night over in Atwood. It's not a far drive. It's 7 o'clock. We need Humboldt fans in the stands, all right? We need you definitely there, and we're looking forward to a great night of football coming up this Friday night. As promised in the outset of the program, we're going to go into our highlights. Let's play the highlight reel from Friday night's ball game as your Humboldt Vikings shut out. Yes, shut out the Bruceton Tigers 32-0. And that's the program tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Go Vikings. That's right. Let's give you one more time a list of our sponsors: the Baskerville Funeral Home, Centennial Bank, Good Old Cookin', the Humboldt Viking Booster Club, the Humboldt Chronicle, Humboldt High School Class of 93, the Humboldt Public Library, Security Bank and Trust, Tyson Foods, and Willis Notary Services. Thank you so much for joining us for the Monday OT tonight. We will have pictures from Thursday night's game coming up the end of the week. We'll also have the Friday night pictures as well as the broadcast at Atwood Friday evening at 7 o'clock. Also, hey, be looking because tonight, I think it's already dropped. We have photos from last week's game. I've been running behind today. It's been kind of playing catch up on a very busy weekend. And so we're going to try to stay ahead of this because it's a holiday weekend next week. That's right, September 5th. It's a holiday, so make sure be watching for all of that stuff that's coming up. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Until next week, God bless you. Have a great rest of your Monday evening, folks.